Hi everyone, my name is Claire and welcome to another episode of the Human Threads, where we delve into new perspectives around topics of global public health and broadly human life. Today we're looking at social isolation and loneliness. I'll also be discussing some of my curiosities around this in the context of introverts. Now, let me start off with a short story. The other day, my parents and I went to a dessert cafe after dinner. While waiting for our cakes and tarts, we chatted about the cafe's decor when we noticed a particular painting right across us. I'll try to describe this as objectively as I can. This painting showed a little boy sitting on top of colorful building blocks. You know, the classical ones usually found in children's playrooms. He was dressed semi-formally in a polo shirt and beige pants, his eyes half closed and hands resting on his lap. What fascinated me was the mini debate between my parents that followed. My mom, the extrovert who isn't afraid to speak loud and clear and stand out in a crowd, immediately described the boy as sad and lonely, almost criticizing how he should go out and play with people. On the other hand, my dad, who is more of an introvert, saw something completely different. To him, the boy's expression was peaceful and relaxed. Inside, the boy was feeling super happy. And me? Well, I also see myself as more of an introvert, so my interpretation leaned toward that of my dad's. So in short, my mom was viewing the boy's solitude in a negative way, while my dad was seeing it positively. What's interesting is that social isolation and loneliness was declared a global public health concern by the World Health Organization in late 2023. Loneliness doesn't just mean feeling alone or down. It can lead to significant health risks impacting physical and mental health, quality of life, and longevity. As per the World Health Organization, social isolation and loneliness can cause up to a 50% increase in the risk of developing dementia, 20% increase in the risk of early death, and up to a 30% increase in the risk of stroke or cardiovascular disease. So, the effects of this loneliness epidemic are very well comparable to other global health concerns. So, my question is this a one-size-fits-all situation? Because what about introverts? Don't misunderstand me. The prevalence of social isolation and loneliness is very much a widespread and increasing concern, and its negative health effects are very real. Also, people can't really be categorized as strictly extrovert, introvert, or ambivert. Speaking from my own experience, I need alone time to recharge, and sometimes I need quite a lot of it. Sometimes I like to work alone, watch TV alone, and do a lot of other fun, usually social activities alone. Still, there are moments when I do feel lonely, and there are moments when I do go out with friends to watch a movie, to have a meal, or simply share a conversation. As such, for me, there is a fine line between loneliness and being alone that hold very different connotations. This also resonates with a post by Courtney Ferguson on the online community Introvert Dear. She says, "Loneliness and being alone are two different things, defining loneliness as being depressed or sad because of the lack of friendship or companionship, and being alone as separate or isolated from others." In other words, as she further explains, loneliness is a sad and painful state, but healthy solitude recharges an introvert. Another post by a Reddit user talked about how they find it very hard to socialize, likely due to the anxiety and awkwardness it brings. But at the same time, they crave companionship, even if it's just one or two friends. They describe this as a vicious cycle. One of the comments below said that it wasn't about the quantity of the connections, but the quality of each as well. This could explain one of the findings from the Making Caring Common project under the Harvard Graduate School of Education, which says, the problem isn't simply social isolation. Some people can be surrounded by a crowd and still feel lonely. Then, what does this say about merely increasing social connection to alleviate our current loneliness epidemic? These aren't easy questions to answer, but I think it's worth giving it a good thought. What different situations and individuals exist within the larger, community-based issues public health aims to address? This has been the Human Threads. Thanks for listening.